All right. So that experiment is over, I guess. So I came up a little bit short on the 30 conversations. A ton of lessons to be had over the weekend. I'm going to reflect on a few of those, give it some more thought, and come out with something a little more thoughtful in the form of probably an article and maybe a video. Some things that stand out to me, and hopefully this was clear throughout the conversations that I had this weekend, and also the context of setting this whole thing up. Um, the lesson to me was that sometimes you just need to get your shit out to the world. You can't get hung up on quality, what people will think about it, or other things that get in the way of just delivering something out in the world. So this is an example of that. On Tuesday of last week, I decided that I want to run a series of conversations. I thought 12 would be a good number. So I posted on LinkedIn that I'm looking to do a series of conversations this weekend, record them, live stream. I didn't know how to do live stream. I didn't really understand the mechanics of that. I Shortly after I posted that, I decided, well, I'm gonna build the thing and call it the Luke Williams Project, which will be just a place for me to keep random stuff that I work on or experiment with, and lessons that I think other people could find useful. So created a website in a couple of days, created a logo in a couple of days, a couple minutes really, set up social channels, recruited people to come in and have these conversations over the weekend. So from idea to product in less than a week. And I think that's the lesson that I'd love for people to take from this thing that I did, this experiment. Um, Certainly, there are things that could have been better, right? Audio, as I listen to some of these other episodes, my audio is shit. Like, I have microphones, but I wanted to do this thing at a minimum viable product. So I'm on my laptop, I'm on my shitty earbuds, just a regular mic. I'm not using any studio equipment or anything else. My video is pretty shitty. My audio is pretty shitty. The lighting is pretty shitty. A lot of it could be better. I'm not a podcaster, right? I'm not a host. I'm not an interviewer. That's just not what I do. But I put the shit together and put it out to the world. And hopefully that's enough to inspire somebody to do that thing that they're thinking about doing. They're concerned about what people might think, concerned about how it will look. And it's difficult to get over that, but it feels really good when you deliver that thing. And even if it's a minimum viable product. So I think there are a lot of things to learn from that. Some other smaller lessons in this, the importance of networking. Will Barfield and I talked about networking, and I don't know that this would be possible. I know it wouldn't have been possible had I not developed a network over the years by trying to help other people and be involved where I can with other people. So when I asked for help, people delivered on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and with no notice. People were signing up on the spot. People that I know have a lot going on, people that are fairly high profile, they prioritized their conversation with me over the 1,000 other things that they had going on. So networking is critical to success as an entrepreneur. And if you're not out there, you need to be out networking. The other thing is that shit happens. When you are doing a thing and you're launching a thing, shit happens. Technical issues happen. We had a couple episodes where the wrong link was sent out. So the human error, I screwed up a couple things, and people will surprise you, good and bad. People will commit to being involved and they won't show up. They'll raise their hand and say they're interested. They like the idea of participating, but they won't. And that's okay, right? That's okay. They had a higher priority thing going on than the thing that they previously said that they wanted to do. That's okay. You can't let that stop you or bother you or get hung up on, well, I can't do the thing if that one person doesn't show up or if I don't get that kind of help from that person. You just have to move forward and adjust. And, I didn't hit 30 conversations, and that's okay. If everybody would have followed through, would I have hit 30? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Shit happens. People will surprise you. So negatively, people will surprise you. They'll get commitments. They like the idea of helping, but they sometimes just won't. But also positively, people surprise me. Inviting other people, recommending, liking on social media. And this is all with very little notice. This isn't a podcast I've been planning for a long time. I'm not a podcaster. I don't want to be a podcaster. That's just not what I want to be or what I want to do with my time. And I'm trying to build a software product and a software company. That's what I am. I'm an entrepreneur building that thing, Squiddy. And I just happen to like having conversations. And I wanted to do something new, challenging, and interesting that hopefully will provide a lesson to other people. This very well could have been called the How Not to podcast. So if you are interested in podcasting, I hope you take the things that I did and do them differently. There are certain things that probably helped. Having interesting context, like let's do 30 episodes, ridiculous number of episodes in a short amount of time. The quality could have been better, absolutely. Could have marketed it better, absolutely. Could have asked the guests to share that we were live and bring their audiences in, all of those things. Had I thought about doing all those things and focused on those things, we would be having this conversation in May or June of 2021. If you want to do a quality podcast, those are the things you probably need to think about. My goal wasn't to have a quality podcast. It turned out that we had some really good conversations, some guests that are awesome, and I enjoyed it. So there's some quality, there's some lessons in the episodes that I think will help a lot of entrepreneurs and help people. But that wasn't, the goal wasn't to have a high quality podcast or to be a podcast. This will likely be the last podcast episode that I do. Who knows? Maybe next year we'll do another 30 conversations in 30 hours. I don't know, but hopefully it inspires somebody else to do it and do it better. And I'd gladly be a guest on that show. So thank you. Whenever you're watching this, whenever you're watching these episodes from these fantastic entrepreneurs, thank you for your time and attention. The last thing that I'll ask from you, if you're watching this, is find one episode that has a founder that you can be a fan of. Founders of startups need fans. They need people to care about what they're doing. They need people to celebrate with. Be a fan. Support them. So find one out of the 25 or 27, whatever the number is. I don't even know. If it's me, that's cool. If it's not, that's okay. But find an entrepreneur. And if it's not an entrepreneur that was on this project, find one. Be a fan. We're fans of celebrities and athletes. Why? Be a fan of an entrepreneur. Be a fan of a founder. It makes a huge difference. Pay attention in some of these episodes. What you say to people matters. If you think highly of somebody, tell them. If you're a fan of somebody, tell them. It means a lot to entrepreneurs. So that's it. Wrapped it up. The Luke Williams Project, ridiculous podcast. Thank you.